Hi, welcome to the next lesson. And after this lesson, you will know how to set up your sequence, how to add prospects to your campaign, and most importantly, get it launched. So let's go to the app. When you log into Woodpecker, you automatically land at your campaign list. Here you can see all of your campaigns. So to add the next one, use Add Campaign button. Let's go through the global settings first. You will find global settings by clicking on the cogwheel on the top right side, just next to the play button. There are many options, so I'll try to point out the most important ones. First, the time zone. If you turn this on, Woodpecker will deliver emails according to each prospect's time zone, which means no more emails at 2 a.m. Woodpecker validate catch-alls at no extra cost, but you need to understand that catch-alls are a little bit tricky to detect. So if you want to send a bit riskier, it means more reach, but also more bounces. In the settings, balanced works well for most, but if you see frequent email not found, switch to maximum. So now on the right side, we have a section that is called limit. This is different limit than we have just set up before. So here you can set up how many new prospects Woodpecker will try to contact each day from this campaign. The last thing I wanted to show you is open tracking. So you can enable or disable open tracking when you send to certain providers. Okay, so now let's go to the campaign itself. Let's click on email. In the email window, you will see version A and the plus symbol next to it. Click the plus if you want to add more versions, if you want to run A/B tests. Following that, you will see subject, where you can put your subject line, and under that you can type in your copy, or you can use AI to generate email for you. The first row at the bottom has a typical "what you see is what you get" editor. And then the second row has some more advanced options like adding snippets or spin tags and running an automated spam word checker. I'll link a help article just under this lesson so you can know more about that. On the right side, you can see when the email should be delivered. Generally, the default is pretty good, so I'll leave it just like this. Once your first email is ready, we can define the time between the email and the next one. The default is 3 days, but if you want to, you can set up a follow-up even after a couple of minutes. In terms of follow-ups, I would recommend 2 to 3. That's where the best efficiency lays. And we did some analysis. After 4th email, the efficiency drops. So I would say let's stick with 2 to 3. Further, with every email you send, you actually increase chances of being flagged as a spam. So I would highly recommend to do shorter sequences. And if you want to target the same group again, just wait 3 months and then retarget them with a new value proposition. All right, so after you added follow-ups, it's time to load prospects in a campaign. So we will go for prospects and then expand this section. You have many options for loading prospects, so you can go for file, integration, our lead finder, or you can do it manually. And for more advanced options, you can actually send your prospects from one campaign to another. We call it workflows. I'll link some sources about that just under this lesson. Because it's our first campaign, I'll go with loading my list from a file. So once you click on from a file, you will end up here. Now just pick the file, and since this is our first campaign, leave the options as is. Wait until the file is uploaded. And once finished, under your data, Woodpecker will list names and all columns in your file. On the right, you will see the prospect fields in Woodpecker that are mapped to your file's columns. Those that are not matched automatically will say none. Click on these and map with fields that you wish. If your CSV has header, make sure to tick this box that is right here. Okay, so the next screen will show you how many prospects you have imported to your main database. Now just click Add to add them to your campaign. The last major step in your campaign is Summary. Here you can review all the settings again before running the campaign. I actually highly encourage you to send yourself the campaign to see if everything is all right. You can do it by clicking Send Test Campaign at the bottom. And once you're happy with all settings, just click on Run. Congratulations! You have successfully run your first campaign at Woodpecker. Okay, so now your campaign is running, so let's look at some sections that will help you to get the most out of your campaign. When you click on your campaign while it's running, you will land on the stats screen. On the top left, you will see the number of prospects. Then you will see invalid prospects. Those prospects are filtered out by Woodpecker because there are high chances that those email addresses will bounce. Further down in the list, we have sent and then bounced. If your bounce rate is high, you may want to consider restricting your catch-all validation a bit more. I will show you more about that a little bit later on. Then, in the middle, you will see the open rate, and at the right side, you will see the reply rate. Lastly, the little smiley icons represent the sentiment of replies. Woodpecker automatically marks replies as interested, not interested, or maybe later, but you can override it manually if you want to. If you scroll down further, you will see your stats broken down by steps. Using just emails in your sequence, this will be basically broken down your stats by each email. One important section in the campaign is to check section. If you see a red bubble with a number, it means that there are some things that you want to take care of. For example, you have forgotten to fill up some snippets, like, for example, first name. You can go there and manually fill it up. And important, Woodpecker will never send emails with missing snippets, so you're on the safe side. There are many other options and setups at our campaigns, so I'll just link help article so you can familiar with that a bit later on. One thing I mentioned a few times already is catch-all validation. If your bounce rate in the first email is over 5%, you may want to restrict your filtering. Pick up maximum to filter out more risky emails and reduce your bounce rate. Once you grow and run multiple campaigns, you can get aggregated stats in Woodpecker by going to deliverability section. The monitor section gives you data that are aggregated by date when something happened. So, for example, you can spot sudden spikes in bounces. I'll link help article about it just under the lesson. The next is the reports section. It contains CSV reports that show data grouped by the date when the email was sent. So, for example, it allows you to see if Monday emails were better than Friday in terms of sending and your results. One last remark, you can access all of those reports via Woodpecker API. As your campaign progresses, it's worth taking a look at Woodpecker inbox section. So you can get there through the main navigation bar by just picking inbox. The most important feature here is the centralized inbox. All emails sent and replies across all of your mailboxes are aggregated in the centralized inbox. On the left, you have all your emails by sentiment, so interested, maybe later, and not interested. Those are the same statuses you saw in the campaign just before. Usually, our customers just block part of the day to manage replies, and the pattern that it happens is like you go to the main inbox, you go through your replies, mark the sentiment, and then forward it to the client. Now with centralized inbox, you can do it without any need to go through each of the mailboxes separately. If you want to manage it on scale, you can actually do almost all of that through API. And a good thing, you can manage prospects through API. We also offer you webhooks if you prefer that way. You can deliver your leads directly to your inbox management system. Some of our clients prefer to use Airtable or Google Sheets or maybe Slack. Or of course, you can send your leads directly to a CRM. Speaking of CRMs, Woodpecker has native integration with Pipedrive and HubSpot. And if you want to automate anything else, you can use no-code solutions as Zapier to do so. This lesson was about running your first campaign at Woodpecker, and we also listed some sections that will help you to get the best results that you can out of your outbound. In the next lesson, I will show you some features that were built for agencies as yours. These features will help you to manage more customers and send on a scale. So, see you in the next lesson.